My husband and I started out in property investing together. We went into the classroom, we went through coaching, we did what we needed to do. We selected in creative finance what worked for us for the deals that came through. And eventually, he started off a business called Empire Property Addicts with a very good friend of mine. And I believe the two of them make an awesome duo. Fast forward, we've continued in our different right within the property investing space. But in this week, something very unique happened. On Wednesday morning, he woke up, he got his test results, and he was tested positive. And it just for a split second felt like, oh, you've gotta be kidding me. And trust me, the words that were other words that I've just dubbed in between were just not words for my channel because I actually wanted to know. But God, how could this happen? We've been following the rules, we've been doing the most, and yet this still happened. And when I sobered up after that confusion, after that concern, I realized we're not exempt from stuff as much as we can protect ourselves from it. But at some given point, when it does come, how ready are we? And so, hear what my husband has to say about being tested positive for COVID.
I decided actually to just, come out to you guys and notify you. For some of you, you don't know that I tested COVID positive. So I'm in quarantine at the moment and I'm just taking it easy. I've been on my medication, but I just wanted to explain to you guys how I actually contracted COVID because I think that's key. But not just contracting it, right? But what else am I doing also to make sure that mentally I stay fit? And then also, what is it that I'm doing from a medical perspective to just look after myself? And obviously looking after the family. I'm feeling okay. I've started taking my medication and things like that. But let me start off by saying that let me give you context of my house, so that at least you can understand how this thing is. So I live with my wife, and we've got a 6-year-old, and my mom, she's around about 74, somewhere there. So obviously, with everything that hear about in the newspapers, on the radio, when the president is talking on the TV, other than opening and closing the liquor stores, I've been cognizant of all the other symptoms. And I've been cognizant of the fact that, if this thing comes through to my house, the elderly are going to, go first. So, like, we've been paying high attention on this. So, eventually, you can't, that's get like this flame that just sits on your throat. It's one of the symptoms that you get. Yeah, so I'm trying to get that will go out, I'm sure, with time. So I'm on roundabout day number three. Yeah, I'm on day number three, and day number three of getting my seeing like proper symptoms. And then I'm on day number two of my medication. So this thing is kind of like, I don't know whether this is the peak or what, but yeah, it's a painful thing, man. It's a painful thing. Let me go back to start talking about how did I actually contract this. So for some of you, you're already thinking, TJ, how could you be so reckless? There are so many people that are dependent on you to get passive income. I know. But I'm also human, and it got to me. So let me tell you how actually I contracted this, in my view. I don't know, that's where I'm thinking about it. So we've been thinking of going into another town for a long time for student accommodation, and the opportunity came for us, I think, about 2 months ago, to go into a town called Potchefstroom. Some of you might know where Poch is. If you don't know, don't worry, stay plugged in. I'm going to be taking you there. So we've been meaning to go into Poch, or should I say we wanted to go into another different town, and Poch came by, and we embraced Poch. We started studying Poch, and then boom, we said, let's go in and start doing some business in there. But Rita and I, when we were talking, we didn't just want to go into Poch and do 1 or 2 deals. But the reality of it is that we wanted actually to set up office, and hope we've done that now. But someone had to go to Poch to verify some of the deals that we were seeing. And I'm going to be showing you guys all of these deals as I go along. But the reality is that with us opening up a 12J, remember the 12J? So where you can invest and SARS can give you a rebate. That one there is an investment that you can do, because you can get up to around about 45% of your money. If you invest 100,000, you can get 45,000 back, right? So it's a good investment, like an awesome investment in a 12J, but the 12Js are coming to an end. But anyways, I needed to go to Poch, and I decided to go with one of my boys. So 2 of my boys, we decided let's jump onto the road, and we left. I think it was on Wednesday morning, around about 3-4ish. We were up, and whoop, we went, and we went to affirm the different projects that were there. So in a nutshell, we actually managed to close 5 deals, 5 deals in Poch that we have now closed. And all of these 5 deals that we have closed in Poch, it's going to give us very close to 150 beds, 150 beds. And I'm glad that 2 of the houses have already been filled. So well done to the team that's working out in Poch. That's Natasha, Terence, and the guys that are out there. So as I go along, guys, you do know I'm sick, right? So I'm allowed to take a short break and things like that. Let me just take some water. So that's Wednesday. That was Wednesday, and I was fine. I wasn't feeling anything, and yeah, so I came back Wednesday. Thursday I was good, nothing. Thursday I was good. Friday I was good. And then one of my boys whom I went with says to me, "Hey TJ, I just went to get my test, man, and I think I've got the COVID, so let me go and get tested," and things like that. So by the weekend came through, he had already indicated to us that his results was positive. So me and Hubert, I drove with Hubert. We needed to quarantine, so we did that, and I think for me, in hindsight, tragedy almost kicked in, I think, or the first symptoms kicked in for me on Sunday. And for some of you, you might have never, this is all new to you. Like, this was new to me as well, right? It's new to my wife. It's new to my household. We have read about it a lot. We have seen it on TV. But when it hits home, it's very, very different. And what I'm trying to do here is to raise the awareness of what can happen in your space and how you can manage it if it happens. But the rate in which this thing is traveling, I'm of the view that all of us are going to get it at some point. I now have it, right? So this is now Sunday. I wake up, and I wake up with a mad headache. Like look, I don't drink heavily. And I think the first time that I drank, I woke up with a heavy babalas, and that headache reminded me of that experience when I was 16, 17-year-old, and I had just drank for the first time. And my head was pounding, and I didn't know what to do with my head. And on top of that, I had a serious diarrhea. So I'm like, what is happening? This is like 6 in the morning. So anyways, that happened for a short period of time. So like in an hour, I went back to bed, and I passed out, and I woke up at 2 in the afternoon. I was hungry. That's how I got to woke up. Jenna, Jenna asked me, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm feeling sharp. Nothing wrong with me now." And so Sunday went by. I was sharp. Monday came in again the whole day, no symptoms at all, so no alarms. And by the way, and this was what was happening to me. I was thinking, you know, if you've got COVID, then you need to be looking out for all the other symptoms that they talk about, which is um, being tired, which is coughing, which is having a mad headache. But you're not, we have headaches. We do have headaches all the times, right? But now you don't think of it that is this a COVID headache, right? I mean, you don't know. So Monday I am fine, but in the evenings, and this happened for like 15, 20 minutes, I just had this chills, like a chill. And I asked my wife, I'm like, "Are you cold?" And she said, "Nah." And I went and I took an extra blanket and poof, I slept and nothing, you know. And then Tuesday, I'm like, I woke up fine and the fever is gone. But in the afternoon, what happens was that I get back inside the house and I am hot, like like burning hot, like inside my skin, it's burning. And I said to Jenna, "Are you feeling hot?" And she says to me, "No, I'm not feeling hot." And I'm like, "I'm really am burning, like burning hot. Maybe let me take a shower." And she said, "Look, for the last 3, 4 days, I think you've had a chilly, a headache, a diarrhea. Maybe we should go and get checked at the doctor." So I call my doctor, and my doctor says to me, "Look, your symptoms are not really 100% COVID, but before you come in, let's postpone for you to come in tomorrow because you're not sick, right? Are you sick now?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not." And he says, "Let's postpone to see you tomorrow, but today go and get tested first." And truth Bob, I went to get tested, and the next day, which was Wednesday, sorry, the results came, and I was positive. Now, guys, I just want to be frank with you, because the moment you get that SMS, your entire soul, your being, it drops, because there are so many people that have died. There are so many people that have gotten sick and didn't recover. Some of them are friends and things like that. We got family in Cape Town. A lot of them haven't been surviving since they got COVID. I got friends down here in Joburg that got to have this and they didn't get better. And so immediately the thinking is, "Oh Lord, this is it now. I'm like, am I going to die?" But because there's so little stories of people that have survived, or even people that are talking about this, and which is another pain point of mine. People that are not really being open about it, say, "Hey, look, I got it and I'm okay." And I'm hoping that this message today that I'm taking on here is you can see that someone like me also had COVID, and hopefully I'm going to survive it. I know that I'm going to survive it because I'm taking all the necessary precautions. I'm taking in the medications. I'm still doing my exercises and things like that. So I call the doctor now. I'm like, the results are here now. What should we do? And he says to me, "Okay, fine. Let's talk at," I think he said about 10:30 or something like that. So I tell Jenna, I'm like, "I'm positive," and Jenna says to me, "Oh, flip. So that means that everyone needs to go and get tested." And you don't know what to feel at that moment. Your emotions are everywhere. Even though you might have been prepared for this, but your emotions are everywhere. So what do we do now? Do I go to another house, for quarantine? Is she also positive? We don't know. In my head, I know that for a fact because, I'm married, right? So so I'm married. I said I do. So legally, we can do like what married people do. So I've been with my wife a couple of times in the same week. So I'm like thinking, I know it's TMI, but for the context of the conversation, so that it makes sense. So I'm like, I'm thinking, if I'm positive, my wife's got plenty of DNA right now, my DNA with her. So there is no way where she's not positive. It doesn't just make sense. And I'm like thinking, so the whole house is at this time. So now I'm worried about my mom. I'm like, oh Lord, so what are we going to do? So anyways, Jenna, so everyone else, Jenna, she goes and gets tested, and then out of that, their results comes and negative. I'm like, what? This doesn't make sense. But anyways, that's the Almighty for you. That's the Almighty for you. So I'm the only one now in the house who's positive, things like that. But I think for the fact that we drove in one car, all of us together in a longer time, the one person who probably had it in that car, it just spread. That's just a reality for me. That's how it happened. So what were some of those symptoms, right? So I gave you guys all the way from Sunday. There was a bit of diarrhea. There was a bit of fever. So how am I feeling now? I don't want to lie to you guys. This is like a temperamental mistress. Like, if you have never had a temperamental girlfriend, and I know to all the ladies they're going to be asking, so how do we relate to this? Like, a temperamental girlfriend is like, they change their mind all the time on what they want, and what they want is extremely demanding. And in this case here, what is happening to me is I have not, ever since I got COVID, there is no day that is similar to the next day. So every day I have a different experience. Every day I've got a different pain. So today I'm feeling a little bit tired than normal. It is in the morning whilst I'm recording this, but I'm feeling a little bit tired. I've got a bit of a bigger cough. I've got a little bit of more flame. But the one thing that's constant though that I've seen is the headache. So the headache doesn't go. So I'm like generally like your Myprodol guy. I normally take like one Myprodol, and sometimes it even makes me pass out, right? But in this case, Myprodol works nothing, right? On Thursday, Wednesday, I think it was, I took 2 Myprodols before the medication came in from the doctors, and they didn't work nothing. My head was pounding, pounding. So anyway, the doctor has given me, he says to me, that those things don't work. Take some still pain. So I'm on still pain right now. But now if I take even like one still pain, it kicks me out. I'm gone because it's too strong for me, So in terms of how am I feeling, yesterday I was extremely tired. So I could work. So I am working, as you can see. So I've turned one of the bedrooms in my house to be my office, and my bed is in there, my bathroom is in there, and Jenna and the kids, they drop off my trays on the front. They sanitize and things like that, and I am staying like literally in that one wing of the house. And if I want to see them, they come to the window, we wave, we send air kisses, and we're sending air hugs. It's a bit difficult, but we have to do it. We have to do it. And I can see my kids, like especially Hope, she's trying to figure out. When I told her that, I've got COVID, she was almost in tears. But that's what it is. And when my mom found out as well, she I think she got confused. I think, she in shock as well, because we've been taking all extreme cautions, but it just happened.
What? how was that video, guys? I was so emotional, and I was actually quite concerned at some point that he still had energy to actually put that particular video together. Yes, we closed 5 deals. Yes, there's a footprint in Potchefstroom. But there's another part of me that feels like I'm so thankful that through all the stuff that we had gone through, that even when the week spiraled out of control, I didn't open my laptop, not even like 25% this week. But work still continued, income still came in. And that is why I believe in property investing. Now, of course, I don't want to yank at your emotional chains, but for me today, like I shared, it's a very, very different video. And this is why I am glad that I didn't just listen, that I took action. And that's the one point of this whole video and this very, very personal share on this Friday that I would like to leave with you today. Whatever you're doing, whatever you are doing, stop just sitting on the information. Take action, because you just don't know when things will happen. Cool. See you second half.